Put it in set. Hey, Stadius. Hey, Warrior Grandma. So good to see you. Hey, Harley girl. Let's see. Hey, Crumb Canary. It's so good to see you too. And thank you. Thank you for saying that. I just hurried up and got on, so I didn't figure I looked too awful great. I wanted to talk about, which I mean, we should probably let more people hear. I really wanted to talk about that. I know I keep saying this. The mom who held her stepmom who held her son kidnapped for 20 years. Hey, Holden, good to see you. I sent Wendy a link. I don't know if she's coming up or not. I think it's her nap time. My husband had to, almost a year ago, so I've been taking care. There you go. Hey, Pammy B, in bed but listening. Love you back. Well, prayers for your husband. I hope he's doing a lot better. How come you're in bed, Pammy? You just taking a day, or you're not well still? Thumbs up, enter. Where your grandma has the cookies and the milk. What her attorney said. I despise her attorney already. I have not, because I wanted us to hear it together, so I just started saving stuff. Um, and I'm torn on whether or not I want to. This would be so. This would be such a alert. Yes. Anybody else had just vehicle yellow? Between pollen and bird poop, my van looks like just a junkyard. So then we have he had health issues come up. Then his dad passed. It's been an emotional road. I can't even imagine. The Karen Reed trial started. Well, the jury selection started yesterday, and me and Wendy had talked. There's a part of me I want to. I know I can't get into that trial. Like I don't even know how many people will be allowed in, because first of all, they both have huge families that are going to be in there, and it's just not going to be an easy way to get in. And then there's no way to stay the whole thing. I would love to go and just like gauge people outside, what they're thinking, what they're doing. And here's, you know, and I don't think it would be safe, so I guess not. Funny story, our store clerk of court called a few minutes ago to let me know the case I was called for next week was vacated. That was great to hear, since I didn't get the, oh boy. Yeah, really. That is. And about the Karen Reed case, I think I would be, oh, it's not, I don't think it's going to be safe to be out there, but it's also going to be, that would be an expensive trip. And but well, not but I really don't have a strong opinion on guilt or innocence. Um, I certainly don't think they have enough to convict her. I think they can do all the trials they want. The only way they will get a guilty verdict, I think, is if the jury gets it wrong. There is no evidence in that trial because there's too much evidence to counter to. You had the birthday shop, yay! um, to counteract the defense. I mean the what trial? Well, that trial that would be the Karen Reed case, and then Lori Vallow started to what? Well, they finished the. I can't finish the sentence. Hey, Freeside, how are you? They finished jury selection in Lori Vallow's, and that trial starts Monday. Now, would I love to be there? Yeah, because I think it's going to be absolutely insane. But another what? What? That's 1,700 miles for me. They can't use some of her expert witnesses, plus the messages between her and Turtle Boy are being let in. Really? Shit. I still don't think my hair. When I brushed my hair just now, I brushed it straight back, and I just got like this thing going on because I have these little hairs that so long. I'll tell you all my story someday about my hair, but anyway. I just don't think they can convict her. I don't know. I don't know a whole lot like the ins and outs like Turtle Boy. Wendy knows more about it because she's really, been on the case, listened to it. But I don't think, and I hope not, Shamat, because I don't think they have enough. Idaho 4. Ooh. And I need to study that more. I don't know enough about that to even do any commentary. I've been so, Stephen Stearns is where my head stays. I just have to see him pay for what he's done. I have to. So, um, it's hard. I don't know. Well, I'm just hooked on watching everything about Stephen Stearns, making sure that there's I also want to see Jen Soto get what I feel she deserves too, which I don't think either one of them will get what I feel they deserve, but we'll see. Prosecution will destroy Proctor themselves. No defense. Well, that's true. He even got fired, so that's what does my shirt even say? Oh well, that's true. Being an adult every single day seems a bit excessive. Somewhere that she got immunity. Only on that one interview, Shamat. There was one interview that she got immunity on. The rest, no. But I just don't think they have enough evidence to convict her of anything, sadly. Thinking about going to Florida when you're there for for that trial. Really? It's well, for sure, let me know. I'm not now, I don't know yet where I'm gonna stay or anything, because I don't wanna yet again book a place and lose my money. Um, and money's tight. Money is tight. We have had some things happen in our world here that it's tight. So, it's just not well, but we're not doing without food or anything, we're fine, but it's may not be up for trips. We'll just have to wait and see. I hope you'll stay at the beach. Well, you'll love the beach. I love the beach. Jim even said that he would come down for a weekend um, for the Stearns trial. But the first trial, I don't know. It don't really. Oh, thank you, Crime Canary. I could always use prayers. That's the whole family could. But so while I wanted to talk about that case, Jim is doing really good. Crime Canary, thank you for asking. Doing good. Um, I was scrolling and I saw some Gen X stuff, and I'm like, golly, yes, 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 yes. And I thought that'd just make a good, Wednesday stream panel. If you want to come up, no, you're fine. He can hang at the beach with me while you're doing trial stuff. Right. Yeah, absolutely. I tell you, He's a little afraid of the water, and so good luck. He's not afraid of water. He's afraid of the undercurrent. He's always afraid somebody's gonna get killed. So anyway, if you're Gen X, you don't have to be Gen X, but I figure we all have some good stories, and that's why I put open panel if someone wants to come up and talk about a story. And then I have some that we can read. I'm going to pin the link, but I need you to, well, not every, I'm gonna have to check you out before you come up. I'm really nervous about pinning a link, but surely in the daytime. Okay, and what got me, and I'm going to share the video that got me to thinking about this, and her comment section is lit, and that's what I want to read. I saw that he died. I was born in '82, but I consider that you are. Well, I don't know. Maybe not technically, but you can be. I was in my computer just made a noise, and I don't know what that was, but oh, okay, yeah, I do. You're a boomer? Well, I'm not gonna say that. I don't know you because you remind me a lot of me, and we I'm on the younger end of the baby boomers. I hate that boomer has what, but I know. What are you, 69? Let's see. Let's see what years Gen Xers are. 1965 to 1980. So you're Gen X. I feel like most of my Gen X stories would be considered horror stories. Look, if the kids these days, and not even children, the young adults these days were raised that when we would be in jail. And you just slid in 1979. There you go. There you go. Because, I mean, some of the stuff, if you think about it, you're like, whoa, you didn't think about it then. And you may not do it now, but who knew better and had me at 15? So I grew up with her. Oh, I love that. I just think I'm not saying boomers are a bad generation. I also hate okay, boomer. But I still think, we're awesome because it's not that we raised ourselves because we didn't, but we were, honest to God, I was locked out in the summertime, not the wintertime. In the summertime, we had to get out of the house, get out. Hey, He-Man, pinching me for not wearing school near banned pinching for not wearing green. Really? Exactly. We had to be out. No, I can't believe that. Um, because she had things to do. There was canning and cutting and freezing and all this stuff that was going on in the house, and we had to be outside not bothering her. And that's where we stood, just outside doing whatever. And I remember we had picnics. That Think about the way we entertained ourselves. My BFF for all life. We're just laughing about last night about teenage shenanigans we got into and how thankful we made it to old age. I know we were out of the house from sun up to sundown. Yes, yes. See, when the sun started going down, we had to help water. We had to help water the garden. We had to help water the flowers. We we just had to. Well, we had to stay busy. There wasn't even. I don't remember even getting a break in the summertime to like just relax and enjoy not being in school, but it was still the best. It was, you didn't go to, I mean, you slept when you went to bed, you were tired, you were dirty until you got your bath. Um, it was, I mean, I never remember coming in and having clean feet. You know, we would always have to come straight in, straight to the bathtub, crying, buying back to school shoes. Yes. 65, you definitely know how to disco. Hey, Karma. Like most, our go home alarm was the streetlights. Yes. Hey, Land Pearson. God, I wish we could go back to the 80s and 90s. The world is scary, volatile, dumpster fire these days. Man, would love to go back. I get sad. Yesterday, a car passed me, and it was like an old, I don't know, Camaro or something like that. And I'm just like, man, to go back. I guess I must have got passed by a lot of fast cars when I was young. I was barefoot all the time. And it was, I had those thick flip flops that had like rainbow, I don't know, that went between your toes. And at the beginning of the summer, they were this thick. And then at the end of the summer, they were like this thick where you wore them all the way down. But we still were barefooted most of the time, got stung by bees all summer. Your mom looked bigger than she was. Shoulder pads and high hairdos. Yes. My nanny got her hair done every Friday. She went and got her hair just rolled, curled, and poof on it. And that way it was all done up for church on Sunday. Hey, Carrie, you had the rainbow flip flops too. They were great. They must have been cheap. I got a pair every year though. Drank from the water hose. Yep, the hose pipe. Absolutely. I think that's on the thumbnail. Let me share this and see. This has some great stories. I love this woman here.
My mom left her wallet at home after pumping gas, so she left my sister at the gas station as collateral so she could go get it. Our parents hate us.
And y'all know that's true. One of the last things I told my mother before she passed is that I still wash my feet before I get in the bed and I always think of her. Yes. I can smell the perm. Yeah. Oh, golly, that smell. I seem to step on a nail every summer. My sister did. I never, knock on wood, I never stepped on a nail, but my sister did. Well, we rode in the back of the truck with what was that called? A camper shell. Sometimes sometimes we had a camper shell. I guess sometimes he didn't put it on. Or maybe it was two different trucks. But you just hold on for dear life and never think about falling out. You're not gonna fall out. Let me ask y'all this. Did how many parents mine this is bad. How many had parents who smoked? And how many have lit a cigarette for their parents while they're driving, while they were fixing a car, while they were doing something? They never thought, yeah, that we would get addicted to smoking or want to smoke when we got older. We just lit a cigarette for them. So, hi, Emerald Girl. So good to see you. Oh, I rode the back of a camper truck from Indiana to Virginia. Absolutely no seat belts. We never wore a seatbelt when we were kids, ever. My grandma didn't smoke. My papa did smoke, and he smoked inside. And I had family members that smoked inside. They smoked inside the car with the windows up, and you just dealt with it. And now, it's illegal to even smoke inside your vehicle with a child inside. I hated it too, and I remember buying a pack of cigs from my friend's mom. They were 50 cents a pack. I remember I would go to the store and get my aunt cigarettes, and I had to take a note. And I read someone else said that they would take a note. I miss you too, Emerald Girl. Thank you so much for being a member for 54 months. I got sent to the lake store for cigarettes, no problem. Yeah, it was no big deal back then. Now I never had to buy anybody alcohol. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't let us done that, but um absolutely you could go and buy your parents some smokes. No problem, no big deal. Well, hell, back then we had a restaurant we went to the name of it was Skips. It's still there. But back then it had a cigarette machine where you could put money in it, and you pull that lever and the cigarette pack would fall. Went to the convenience store to get her cigarettes, and once I was so young they couldn't see me over the counter. My mom came in mad. Lavender, we raised ourselves. We had to go outside right after breakfast, and we're told to be home by dark, and that was dinner time. Yep. Good luck to you. You better not cost us any emergency room bills. You remember those machines? Yes. My mom didn't drink or smoke. She never did. She wasn't supposed to, and thought her kids would do the same. Not so much. Yeah, my nanny. Well, I'll tell you, my nanny had some trauma happen to her, and back then her doctor told her that she should smoke whenever she got sad. So when we would see Nanny smoking a cigarette, we would know to leave her alone because she was having a moment. And then she always said one day she looked at it and she said, I'm just burning money, and never smoked again. So, but did anybody else have, how now everybody, even me, if somebody throws a cigarette butt in my yard, I'm mad. But back then, did anybody else have cigarette butt pickup during? This is so cool. I forgot about this. Usually it was after they mowed, and you had to go around picking up the mowed cigarette butts so your yard looked good. And this was once a week because people would just come to your house, flick cigarette butts in your yard, and not give a shit. Listen, if you're gushing blood or projectile vomiting, you don't need to come in the house. You better believe it. And if we were bleeding, we tried so hard to not come in because we were going to get, what was it called? It wasn't iodine. I think it was mercurocone or something like that. It burned so bad, and you just put it straight on your blood. Maybe flick a few of the gravel out of your wound. Would asked me to make Mom's cocktail while she got ready to go out. Thank goodness. To make Mom a cocktail. Go give me a beer out of the fridge. Yes, the Bernie bottle. Dadgum, that stuff hurt. You walked everything off. Walk it off. Just walk it off. You're fine. You're okay. It was always, can you move it? Because if you could move it, it wasn't broken and you were fine. Everything was very clean. They came and inspected your house every 3 months. Oh. Well, my nanny was the inspector, and our yard had to be perfect. And we had to go through and pick up butts out of the yard. I haven't drank since I quit. I'm really afraid if I had a twisted tea, I'd want a cigarette, so I don't think I'll ever drink again. You might. I don't know. That seemed when I quit smoking, like coffee, beer, all that. Nothing was. I still don't drink coffee. I'll have some beer sometimes, but I don't drink. But I vape. But coffee and vaping does not go together. It's just not as good. Jim drinks just as much coffee now as he did when he smoked cigarettes, but I don't. I haven't smoked in like 7 years, I think. It's hard to believe that it's been that long, but it's been a while. Tequila got me after 3 years of not smoking. Alas, I will try again. That's right. There you go. And the other day, Jim, he said, I've been craving a cigarette. And I said, if you smoke one, you want, because if you vape, It just tastes so bad. Spray for mosquitoes. We would run behind the trucks into the smoke. No one cared about when those planes were flying over and they were dusting the crops. Oh, there you go. They didn't even tell us to get in the house. I mean, not we all breathe that. I tell you, one time, years ago, I had to go to the hospital. I couldn't breathe, and I had a scar on my lung from histoplasmosis, and that guy at the doctor at the ER said everybody who lives in the South will have those scars. Where we at once we had histoplasmosis and didn't know it. Now Jim had it so bad he missed a year of school. I don't even really know what that is, but I think it's from breathing bird shit. Monday on my thyroid. You got them all. You got them, Holden. I have to step away for just a second. I'll be right back. Nobody leave. Everyone hide. I have to vacuum. Oh, okay. Well, we'll be praying, Holden. I had everything you could get: measles, mumps, croup, even. Really? I didn't have any of that except chickenpox. And back then they wanted you to catch chickenpox. Like, my sister had it, and my nanny wanted me to go ahead and catch it to get it over with. So she had it a week, and then I mean, not purposely, but I had it the next week after that. I think I still have the scar somewhere on my forehead. It's probably moved, or it's probably into the wrinkles now, but I don't know. But I do believe in vaccines. I do think that we should be getting our vaccines for that stuff. Because in there, what is the outbreak? I can't think because the pause is killing me. But it's not mumps? Is it measles? Let me pull up the comments on this. Measles. Wait, what will your grandma say? I had those roller skates you wore over shoes. Oh, I kept losing the damn key. I skated like the wind. Oh man. Okay, so I'll tell you something else we had. This was so unfair too. JoJo got a pair of skates, and so we ended up having to share those skates. And I cannot tell y'all how many scars I have. How do I know? Because my family thought it was funny and took tons of pictures. Pox parties, phone tree alert, all moms get a chicken. Measles. See, All right, so JoJo got a pair of skates, and then when I grew some, we had to share that pair. So we had to share them. So she got one skate. If both of us wanted to skate, she got a skate and I got a skate. And we used our skates like a skateboard. But we were pretty good. Like we would get going really good and hunker down, on one skate. But I mean, I don't. Nobody sprung for us another pair of skates. Like, come on. But I can't. We fell, got hurt so many times. Skates. And we would try to hold one leg up each and skate together, but we never got that down. We never made that work. But we used to race down the road, hit a rock, wipe out. Oh, we loved it. And now, if they saw you letting your kids skate in the road, think about what would happen. All right, can y'all see these comments? Because it seems to be small. Let's make it bigger. Dude, I shit you not. Okay. Okay, no. My mom left my brother at the grocery store when he was maybe 6. We had a huge huge station wagon, and he and I used it to sit in the back. I'm 18 months younger than he is, by the way. Anyway, we left the store and we're driving down the road, and my mom says, "It's awfully quiet back there. Brian, are you okay?" I said nonchalantly, "Oh, he's not here." She screeched. The tires turned around to get him. He was outside the store bawling his eyes out. My dad said he knew someone. Listen, okay, the other day I read this post and I was like, wait, is that not true? It said, who convinced us that if you scratched off a mole, you would bleed to death? I'll tell you who convinced us of that. My nanny did. She told me if you scratched off a mole, you would bleed to death. And I just found out the other day that that's not true. My dad was the king of flea markets. My Miss Beasley doll spoke Spanish. My basketball had a walnut sized knot on it. My dad said it would make me better at dribbling. Oh man. Ours put our basketball goal up on the barn door where we had it was brick after brick you would throw. I wasn't allowed to get a bike till I was 9. Some kid my dad knew died. And then my mom was at the sink washing dishes and she saw me riding like the wind down the alley. Things I learned at 50, Randy, 2025. You can actually not bleed to death. You will not bleed to death if you scratch off a mole. That is a lie our parents told us so we would not pick our moles off. Or maybe they believed it. I don't know. Oh, I used to I used to walk across a major highway to go get lunch for me and my sisters at the bar my mom worked at. No crosswalk. Oh no, what happened to my screen? What? There it is. Um, no crosswalk, just raw dogging it like Frogger. Hey, Mama Stone. So good to see you. Look, no, we didn't have crosswalks. We still don't have crosswalks where I live. You are living on a prayer. You go across. Well, it's like the main street. We don't have a highway in the town I live in, but we did have to cross a highway. Yeah, to go to my aunt's house, and we raw dogged it. We just ran across. My dad wouldn't let me downhill ski. He knew kid dead. Don't turn your electric blanket past 2. I know somebody who cooked themselves. Yeah. Oh, don't sit on your bed. I knew somebody who sat on their bed with an electric blanket, and that night they got electrocuted. I realized my dad couldn't afford my dreams. My basketball had somebody else's name on it. Listen, no shit. Let me tell y'all right now. This lady down the street, Miss McGuirk, God bless her and God rest her soul, good woman. She used to sell clothes out of the back of the truck. And I don't know where she got them. I don't know. I know that the jeans were like really stiff, but me and JoJo got jackets for school one year, and we were the Hornets. But our and our colors were blue and white. And me and JoJo had to go to school with orange and black jackets that said Tigers on them. Hey Derry D, everybody knew that that came out of Miss McGurk's truck. I'd say about 30% of the kids had Miss McGurk clothes. The rest of the kids were the rich kids that could afford school jackets. My grandpa put Listerine on everything. He had a preacher. He was a preacher, so he kept a bottle under the seat of his car, or he would take a swig before he went visiting. It was like gargling with gasoline. Oh man, Listerine was the cure all. We always had to use Listerine. Don't dare say you got a sore throat because you was about to swallow some Listerine. Ugh. We lived in Florida for a year as a kid, and my dad and his friend went fishing, and we had a bad neighbor that caught a shark and put it on her trash can. Of course, it was dead. Oh my gosh, tigers! Yep. Oh, Miss McGuirk. There it is. I used to go buy cigarettes for my mom with a note. Yep. I remember finding my sister in the back of our station wagon and my mom pulling over and kicking us out and making us walk home. We were, oh, we were at least a 30-minute drive. It took us over 2 hours since we were still hitting each other all the way home. We were 7 and 8 at the time, and we lived in the city. Hey, Pamela, good to see you. Buckley's like eating a pine tree. Ugh. Ugh. Oh, I remember, like, did y'all ever, we would be at church and me and JoJo have gotten in like fist fights at church. And then Nene would talk to her teeth, you wait till you get home. We were terrified collecting pop bottles for candy money and being able to buy candy for a little bit of nothing. My grandma had cataracts and she loved to sew. She made me a pair of pants. One leg was straight leg, one leg was belt bottom. Everybody laughed because my dad made me wear them. Oh, that's sweet, Carrie. I know my nanny made me some culottes, as she called them, and one leg was longer than the other, and I still had to wear them because I didn't want to hurt her feelings. It was so hard because I got made fun of, and it wasn't even that much longer, but believe me, they noticed. Culottes. That's all I understand. I broke my leg when I was 4. My parents left me on the couch for 2 days because I was over. Finally, my mom said, "Fine, I'll take you to the doctor, but you better not be lying." I got the doctor. He said, "These kids get a," and he said, "These kids get a little bump and think it's broke. Let's X-ray. Let's do X-rays." He came back in and said, "Well, she knows what she's talking about. She had a broken leg. I spent the next 3 months in a cast taking amoxicillin and being mad at my family for not believing me." Yes, if in public my mom would warn me with gritted teeth, "I'm gonna pinch a plug out of you." Yes, wild pain. Yes. How many times would you get a threat while you were being pinched? And it was the pinch and twirl. That's right. Oh, I remember those numbers, Carrie. I fell out the car door. I had to hang on, but it was between letting go and dropping my bubble gum. I just say the curb. I just say on the curb for what seemed like forever before they came back looking for. Because if you lost your bubble gum, you wouldn't get another piece. When I was 8, I remember when my mom sent me to the corner store with a note to buy cigarettes for her. Yes, Dairy D. Corner store, grocery store with a hardwood floor. It smells so good in there. Yes, it did. Oh, golly. Well, they acted like they gave out their personal numbers. I called those numbers too and got in trouble, Carrie. I was calling Feldman. We watched a neighbor kid fly out of the car as they took the corner. She went when they got home from falling out of the car. How many people were tossed in the lake and told to swim? Me. Because no seatbelts. Right. My sister did come in and save me though. But that's bullshit. Sink or swim. I guess that's how we learned. I did take swimming lessons too. It was to promote their maybe dream a little dream. Yep. We had like a swimming party and my papa thought it would be funny. He took off running, which was still amazes me to this day that he could run. He had a bad leg, seriously. And he dove in the water and he came up. We were at a lake. He came up with a bar of soap. And all my friends thought it was so funny, but I was so embarrassed. I didn't he had been planning that all day. You know, he carried a bar of soap around in his pocket. Hey Carl, it's good to see you. And when smokes were 95 cents a pack, yeah, they were really cheap back then. You could take $1 and you could get a pack of cigarettes and a piece of, well, probably that real hard gum. You know what I'm talking about? It tasted really good though in the beginning, and then it would get really hard. You know, you had to pull both sides. I don't know. I don't remember what the name of it was. Oh, I have another one of those. Bazooka. Hey, K Buns. Another one of those scam texts that is telling me that the Department of Motor Vehicles, I owe them a toll payment. That made the news. That is such a big scam. The soap gum. I think it had a joke in it, maybe. Or maybe a tattoo. I don't remember. All right, let's read another one. When I was like 12, I fell off a curb and rolled my ankle. And it turned black, and it was the size of a softball. But it was Friday night in my small town where you always went to the movies and the pizza place. And my mom was like, well, if you're so hurt, you shouldn't go. But I soldiered through the pain. I did that. She drove us and just tried to prove I wasn't hurt. She parked pretty far away to make me walk. Needless to say, I called her mid-movie because I was in so much pain, sweating and throwing up. When she took me to the doctor, I had a bad sprain and torn ligaments. She knew I was hurt because she used to scare me about the doctors saying they were going to stick me with a needle. Now that was me. I was always afraid of a shot. So if I volunteered to go, a bully on the school bus was picking on my little brothers. My dad said, you better fight back and protect your brothers. I was in 3rd grade. Bully was in high school. Yes. Ain't that the truth? That is true. We had to stand up and fight for ourselves. And you better not come home. If you get your ass beat at school, you're going to get it beat when you get home. What? I want my MTV. That is so. They never really believed us. I love these stories too. Because think about it, they never believed us when we were hurt. That is the truth. Like, why would we lie? To get out of chores, I guess. Because we had to do a lot more back then. And this happened to me. I hurt my leg at school, and none of the teachers believed me. And I was in a brace for 6 months. Dad made me set up on a bluff for me to jump off to learn to swim. I was afraid and wouldn't jump. Finally, he told me he was going to spank me. Little did I know he accidentally set me next to a snake. Me too, Dirty D. I'd go back. I would go back. I broke my arm at school. None of the teachers believed me. I got home and told my mom my arm was broken. She took me to the doctor and it was broken. I went to school the next day with a cast. Principal came in and made a public apology to me. Guess my mom had words with him. Same thing happened. I had to sit in the office for hours. And I guess they thought I would just finally give up. But no, it hurt so bad. Oh, the ice cream man. Well, we still have the ice cream man. Of course, now back then you could get it what for a quarter. I worked in a frozen yogurt store at the mall. I was 16. An industrial sized box of aluminum foil fell from the shelf and I tried to catch it. My wrist slid open and my boss took me to the hospital for stitches. They called for my mom because I was a minor. She said she couldn't because she couldn't because she had a friend over for dinner. She gave consent for treatment by phone and said she'd be by to pick me up when dinner was finished. Karma sure gets them bullies. Is homeless and acts like an idiot. Amen, Carlos. You better believe it. Oh yeah, jelly shoes blisters, man. But you could get them in every color for cheap. I broke my leg in first grade, falling off the jungle gym. Day one, got cast removed. Was on a jog, and what you had to go? You had to run laps after you got it off. Oh man, I fell off the monkey bars and broke my tail. Oh man, my teacher told me that's what you get for showing. Still don't know how much. One time, this boy's name was Ted. Take a link, Ted. He told me we had this. It was like a electric pole. This pole with a tire around it, and I was standing on it. Hey, Nana Patty. Oh, okay. Um, he told me to fall back and he would, he told me to fall back and he would catch me. I fell straight back. Exactly, Pammy B. I fell straight back and just hit the ground like just boom, and it knocked the wind out of me. And when he bent over and to see if I was okay, I kicked him in the mouth, and I got in trouble. And I just set out the rest of the playtime for kicking him in the mouth, even though he was supposed to catch me when I fell, and that's why I kicked him. And I was probably trying to kick so I could breathe. That's the first time I ever had the wind knocked out of me. It scared me to death. When I was in second grade, we had a mean substitute teacher who used to scare the hell out of me. We had a mean teacher in fourth grade, and she's still alive, but I bet you her kids don't even speak to her. And she would like make us sit on the floor, scream at us. I got sick one time at school, and she wouldn't let me call Nanny, and I had tonsillitis. But that was one of those. It was on a Friday, so just like that other story, I pushed through because we were going to the movies, and we went to see The Breakfast Club. Hey, Calamity. Not one of my brothers or sister could be taken to the hospital unless we had clean underwear on. It's a wonder we lived back then. Yes, clean socks and underwear. Oh, I wish Meanie teacher would take a link. She passed a few years ago. I want to know what I said first that she made me fresh. Right. Kick to breathe as if I don't believe that kick to breathe as if I don't know if I meant to kick him in the mouth or I was just kicking. Dang. But why I thought he would catch me, I just fell straight back. Just put all my trust in Ted that day. Boom. When I was in third grade, a boy kissed me and I punched him in the eye and I got in trouble. Yeah, now they would get kicked out of school. My brother took my mom's bike after she told him he couldn't leave the house. When she got home from work, she went to find him. She was chasing him with her car, and someone called the police. By the time they got there, my mom had hit him with the car after he told her she wouldn't do it. When the cops asked her if she had indeed hit him with the car, she replied, "It's my car, my son, and my bike. I'll do what I want." That's right. That is why our kids, they don't understand. They don't get it. They don't. I remember one time, as fast as I was riding my bike trying to run from Nanny, she was chasing behind me, beating the piss out of me with a switch. Now, granted, we did get candy when we got a whipping, but still, this was in front of all our friends over by the church. And now, imagine what would happen. In her defense, she had been telling us to get home. Okay, somebody said, poor parenting skills aside, I believe we lived our best life because we lived to tell the stories. Because all right, before you drank out of the hose pipe, how many people in here got warned that that water was going to burn the piss out of you before you had to let it run because that water that was in the hose was hot from sitting in the sun. I had a mailbox and it was done. Trevor, what had my bike falls for my mom. The first that's what we were talking about. Yes. Just call me Nana Patty since it's easier. Oh. I didn't get no, we weren't allowed to use hose pipe drinker. Yep. I was in elementary school in the 70s when teachers didn't need permission to paddle you. Teachers didn't need permission to paddle us either. Well, did they? No, not until we got in. I think I was in 9th grade when they started having to get permission, but my nanny gave permission. I got paddled by the principal one time. I remember one of our teachers. Now, granted, she didn't get. It was her first year teaching, so I guess it was her probationary period. So she didn't get to come back the next year, and I don't know if this is why, but she got so mad at this boy named Randy Hall, may he rest in peace, that she took her paddle and jerked him up out of the seat and whipped him like she was whipping her kid. Hey, Batty, whipping her kid at home. And he was running around the desk. And she was just beating the piss out of him with a wooden bat. I can't remember her name. This is fun. She wore 2 different shoes to school one time. She had a rough year, man. She did. I wonder if Gina remembers her name. My friend Gina was in that class. And then she told everybody in class if we didn't do our homework that night that she was going to line everybody up outside and paddle them. Well, look, I didn't want paddling. I was the only one in class, I think. Maybe not the only. There may have been more, 2 or 3 that did their homework. But oh yeah, way before cell phone cameras. She lined everyone up out in the hall that didn't do it, and they got a lick. Every single one, and Gina was one of them. Okay, we lived in Florida until I was 12. My parents brought us a playhouse, a 10 by 10 aluminum sheet. It's a 10 by 10 aluminum shed in the backyard. You mean a sweat box with a lock on the outside? I can't believe we didn't wind up like beef jerky. I remember seeing a teacher hit a student with a rubber ball. Oh man, running inside, went home to check the answer machine messages. Yes, we didn't have an answer machine. If you missed it, you missed it. Gary, you enjoy your day. Oh man, it's so much better. Oh yes, they were all Polaroid pictures. Absolutely. Oh yeah, feel much better about it, Pammy. Getting oh, being able to we could hold the firecrackers when we lit them, but no big deal. We had wars with bottle rockets. One time, and I'm not joking, I was literally deaf. It sounded like, well, that's not literally deaf is too much, but it sounded like I was had my head just underwater because Jolinda shot me with a this whistle thing, and it whistled and went right by my head and exploded. And when I ran in to tell on her, I was screamed at to get out because I was gonna make the pressure cooker explode, quartering their kids to call home for a ride after a football game. Yeah, and our sock. I had to put it in my sock. Absolutely. Just in case the ride fell through. Because usually one of my friends was driving me home or we walked in the dark because back then it was supposedly safe. But we always had to have a quarter in our sock in case we had to use the payphone. Doctor laughed harder when I remember I shot this girl one time and it left this perfect black like gunpowder residue. It was like a beautiful piece of art that I left on the back of her shirt. I meant to blow her head off though. Y'all know we use those to not be nice. Mall arcades were awesome. Yes, they were. Did Evie do penny loafers with dimes instead to make phone calls home? I never had any penny loafers. But I do remember when phone calls were a dime. I was pretty young, but when I got old enough to get out, they were a quarter. But when they were a dime, I remember standing outside the store and this man was throwing dimes at me and my aunt. I don't know why I just remember that. Mall arcades were full of PDFs, right? I was sent to the corner store to buy my dad cigarettes and sometimes with extra money to buy a pack of cigarettes for myself. My dad would light my candy cigarette and we would enjoy a smoke together. Yes. No, no, we didn't have any gangs. No. Well, Carlos, they were dumb. At this age, having a memory is a good thing. Absolutely. I remember having a smoke. I broke my arm for a second time while walking. Yes, while walking back to where my mom was milking cows. My dad comes around on a tractor, sees me sees me all hunched over, holding my arm, and jumps off the tractor and yells, "You better not have broken another fucking bone." In the winter, we would use a car hood. I know where that's going, us too. Sled down the hill. When we hit a bump at the bottom of the hill, it would flip on top of us. Might explain the brain damage, right? Not. Oh, oh, you would make a. Oh, okay, Derek D. I get you. At school, yes, we would have gangs, but we didn't say north or south. The banana splits. No, I don't remember that show. The cigarette machines were cool, and we always wanted to be the one to buy them because it was fun to pull it. Oh man, yes. When we would get hurt, they would be mad at us. My mother was appalled at candy cigarettes, like watching them smoke wasn't blowing that smoke right in your face. Putting the cigarette in. putting a cigarette in the side of their lip while they fixed your talking, and the cigarette was flipping upside down. I mean, up and down. Oh man, our cigarette machine at our restaurant, it wasn't beautiful or anything. It was just plain, but it was fun to pull the lever. Is that they're cooking a pot of beans, trying not to drop ashes in the food. I don't think we ever got kicked out of the car fighting, but my nanny was afraid that we would get murdered. So my mom and stepdad would take me to the bar with them on my mom and stepdad would take me to the bar with them on payday when I was 9. My mom got pissed off at him one night and drove home, leaving us stranded. We spent the night in a total stranger's RV behind the bar, and stepdad taught me how to hitchhike the next morning. Oh, yes. My mom was feeding me a bottle, smoking a cigarette, and having a cocktail. We would use the car hood, but we had it hooked up to a pickup truck, dragged us all over town. The car hood always flipped, though. I remember buying cigarettes when I was 14 and never got caught. Yeah, me too, Carlos. I was younger than 14. All you had to have was a note. What did you have to? My grandma about beat my ass when I bought the candy ones. Really? You had to throw yours away? No, I got to smoke mine and eat them. I was, I was totally raised different. Remember they had that little the little red tip on them, the candy cigarettes, and they had the red tip to look like they were lit. I used to buy beer and cigarettes at 13, never got carded. Isn't that crazy? I never had to buy beer. I don't know if they would have let me. I never tried. But I bought cigarettes and I know I was younger than 13. Oh, I'm trying to find some more comments. Somebody, that's not normal. I was beer store collateral and you usually put to work. Gave birth smoking. My mother gave birth smoking a cigarette. I think. Yeah. Could because I retorted something sassy about her smoking. Could be because I did. I ran my mouth too, and then I ended up smoking. So I smoked for a long time. We didn't have an electric garage door opener, so when we would get home, she would pretend to push a button, and that was my signal to get out of the car and open the door. I was 10, and it went on for years. Oh, this is if you were a kid in the 80s, did you ever see the inside of a store? We were told to stay in the car and don't open the door or window for anyone. Why would it be any different than being left alone? That's so, yes, it is. Hey, Mary Carl, so good to see you. Y'all, yes. How many times did they go to the store and you had to stay in the car? Now, we did get to crack a window, but we had to stay in the car a lot because they didn't want to deal with us. Absolutely. Oh, that's great. Oh, Shamat, thank you so much for the tip. Much appreciated. All tips will go to the next trial whenever it is. I even bought cigars at the local 7-Eleven. Which is cigarette. Well, did I buy? I still have one of my papa's Prince Albert. I think it's Prince Albert. It may not be Prince Albert. It's a box. Used to hate long car rides with. Oh my gosh, me too, Derry D. Me too. Oh, that's us. To see that. My grandparents would take like 15 of us grandkids in the back of an open truck to the dump to see the bears. Oh. Now, look, I've had this happen. She stepped on a nail and was back there a really long time, and I had to set out. Okay, my brother was hit by a car. He was hurt badly. Surgery required, but okay. My parents left me in the ER waiting room all day and then overnight alone. No food, no money, no contact. Before an acquaintance came to check on them the next night, he wasn't allowed back, but he did recognize me. He just took me home with him and left a note with the nurses. The next afternoon, my parents called to find me. I was 9. I guess they missed the 10 p.m. reminders to go figure out where your kids were. Gen X raised on hose water and neglect. And as a side note, we were awarded Family of the Year. Back before the internet and interested in true crime, you had magazines like True Detective, Sparkling Detective. Yes. Being told just to duck down anytime you saw the cops. Yes, I remember. Now I did I? No, my kids were always buckled. By that time, it was a law. It was a law. But I remember I had a cousin. It was more like a brother, but we would say, "Duck, hit the deck." It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? Oh, one time I didn't get picked up from kindergarten. We got out at 12 o'clock, and a family friend picked me up. There was some kind of family emergency, and she just picked me up, and I was allowed to go with her. School didn't know her. She wasn't from here. They moved here from Michigan, but I sure did get in her car, a rank stranger to the school, and go home with her. This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions? When I was 13, 14 years old, my dad would take me to the local bar to play pool. We go during happy hour when the staff would let me in. When the staff would let me in, I would play pool while my dad drank. Then I would drive us home because he was drunk. It got to the point that the staff and all the regulars knew us. I always thought my mom knew about this, but I was probably in my late 30s when I casually mentioned it during a conversation about childhood. She was horrified and had no clue. Apparently, my dad had been lying about where we went. I had a physical fight with my older sister, my oldest son. Okay, we're cheering. Okay, we're cheering for my sister, and then we all got in trouble when mom came home. My mom said my oldest sibling on the road on the car floor in a carrier. Oh, look, me too, Nana Patty. We used to get out there, and now I don't know that anybody. I think they were always rooted for me because I was the smaller one. I was 4 years younger, and we would fight till blood. We were bloody. My dad counted heads in the station wagon before we left the beach. By then, probably too late for the count. That's true. Oh boy. One of the bars my mom frequented would give you a free drink if you were wearing their t-shirt. My mom would put me and my sister in their shirts too. So she could have 3 drinks. We weren't allowed to come inside the bar, so we had to sit in the doorway the whole time she was there for it. I can't believe we lived. Oh, it's good, zombie, good. Wood paneled side station wagon. I would love to have one today. I'm the first child and the only girl. I didn't have a fair chance of any fun. No, you did not. I'm sorry and I'm sorry I'm late to do the tell all. Do tell, do tell. We did have the best lives. There was no I don't know. You just lived and you rubbed dirt on your wounds and went home and shut up. Remember when I was about 7, these guys were drinking Corona. I grabbed one of the bottles thinking it was apple juice. One of the men said to me, "Kid, don't." That's for adults. Anybody's parent ever say, "Here, hold my cigarette," while they was doing something, and you just stood there and held it. One time I had a family member, I'm not gonna say who it was, got me to hold her cigarette while she ran down the hill and beat a woman's ass for just stood in the yard. I just stood in the yard holding her cigarette while she got in a fist fight. I forgot about. Oh my gosh! She came back and finished her ciggy too after she was. Oh golly! Slip and slide speed. Slip and slide was. Hey Tara, the slip and slides were made to look much more fun on TV than they were in real life because you would literally bust your head, bust your knees, bust your arms. You never stayed on the slip and slide. You always slid off. You always got skint. Oh, I was country. Here we go. I was country Gen X. My parents would say, "You have 80 acres. Don't get off the farm." We had coyotes and wild dogs. No worries. Just don't leave the farm. Take a sandwich. Amen. That's what we were told. We didn't have 80 acres, but we had a lot of land. Yeah, we would slip and slide right off it. We had a lot of land. So get out there, do your best. Good luck. And you better not get attacked by anything. Either too much water or not enough water on the stupid strip. Yes. It's good to hear you laugh, Randy, cracking yourself up. It's good to laugh. We were tough. That's why we're still tough. That's why it takes more than just a little bit to take us down. At one time, okay, so one time, I don't know if y'all have ever heard this or not. Oh, you're so welcome. I needed it too. Nobody was named Karen. Those were the days. Exactly. Nanny said, "Watch this." And there was this big old snake. I have no idea what kind of snake. She cut its head off. She said, "Watch this." And she put it over in a barrel and we stood there. Nanny said, "Now you watch. Even though I've cut this snake's head off, it won't die until the sun goes down." And we stood there like it was some kind of a TV show and watched that snake until the sun went down for it to die. Now, I don't know. It seemed like it kept moving, or it may have just been in our heads. I hated selling Girl Scout cookies door to door. Wh- Did you ever eat everything and your parents had to pay for it? Because that's happened to me. That was candy bars, though. Oh, this is good. My mom and dad took me to a Grateful Dead concert in the 70s in San Fran at 9 years old. The babysitter canceled and they had backstage tickets. They left me in the green room to sleep and I was told not to eat anything because it might have drugs, LSD in it. But I did meet Michael Douglas and his girlfriend Brenda. Also some Hells Angels, and their bands were and the band's unofficial bodyguards apparently, or they were. Oh, that's great. Back then, kids and grown-ups understood that they had nothing in common and they stuck to their own lanes. Oh, I have ate the product. Yes, He-Man. I have. It didn't it didn't turn out well. You're right. Do you remember? I mean, okay, if your parents had company over, you didn't go in the kitchen and sit down with them. You got out. You did not get to get in adult conversations. Our moms were sadistic. We were broken of whining. We had nothing to do. When we had nothing to do, they had us put salt and ice in our hand and run around the house for 5 minutes, bubbling. Really? It is true. You could never, ever, if we ever came and said we were bored, we were going to be clipping weeds. Nanny could always find us something to do. So we never said we were bored. But look, we have climbed in the very top of trees, picking what we pretended were beans. And I would cook them up, and pretend that I was the mom. And just think about all the stuff the kids don't do these days, the fun that we had, that they're going to miss. But times are just different. They're just so different now. Oh, I got a story like when I was 6 or 7, I rubbed I rubbed against a freshly welded box and burned the back of my leg really badly. While the blisters were still forming, my mother told me, "Bet you don't do that again," and ran the water hose over it and told me to go play. And I did. My grandmother saw the burn covering most of the back of my thigh and took me to the hospital. It was infected and I ended up in the hospital. Oh, no, no, that's not good. No, ma'am. Okay, no, I don't have a story like that. Whose mom besides mine wielded a wooden spoon for correction tool? Let me tell you what mine had. Everything is against the law now. Nanny had a leather strap, two of them. One was orange, one was blue. They were these leather straps, and they went under a pony's belly, and that's what we got a spanking with, was a leather strap. There wasn't no, I'm getting the belt. There was a few times that she would cut a switch. She never made us cut her own switch like she had to. But yeah. But I'll tell you, I opened it was like I guess a crock pot. I was little. I had no idea that you could get a steam burn. I had never heard of a steam burn, nothing. I opened the pot and I got a really bad steam burn. I screamed and cried. It hurt. It hurt for hours. And that's what I got told. Bet you won't do that again, because we weren't supposed to touch it. We knew better. I don't remember that my mom ever landed a blow, though. Those were the best of times. Very little fear, or just fear of our parents or the neighbors. Neighbors would whip your butt just like, yes, and they tattled. It wasn't a pressure cooker. No, it wasn't. Look, are you kidding? I was terrified of a pressure cooker because, my nanny knew someone that got killed. Someone that died using a pressure cooker. So my brother would hide them under his bed. So she had a even dozen. Yep, our neighbors had permission to whip us. Yes. And if your friends came over, you lived in fear that your parents might spank your friends, and then that would just ruin your friendship. And their parents were allowed to spank us, but I don't think I ever got a spanking by their parents. Anything mama had at hand, wooden spoon, hanger. Woo! I have had a shoe thrown at me. Mom used to threaten us with toothpaste whenever we had some sort of burn. Oh, no. Ours was butter. My nan exploded a pressure cooker in our kitchen when I was small, so No one was allowed. No one was in the kitchen, thankfully. But what a mess! See, we weren't allowed in the kitchen when it was being used because someone died, obviously, and but I've never seen one explode. The deadly pressure cooker, a registered weapon. Yes, that. And that it seemed like it was every day through the summer. You know, they would work the garden, break the beans, and you better not leave a string on the bean. And that's what they were doing. It was pressure cooking. I mean, well, canning. And do y'all know? Because I've canned things. You don't have to use a pressure cooker. Jim's mom taught me that. You could just put the cans in the oven or the lids, and no, you don't have to put the jars in the oven. You just have to put the rings and lids in boiling water and put them on, and they'll seal. That's it. That is it. You do not have to pressure cook them. My sister got a plastic coffee pot for Christmas. She made coffee for mom and dad for breakfast, melted all over the stove. Oh, that's true. Instant Pot is definitely a pressure cooker. So my friend Gina and hey Ash, I wasn't with Gina when this happened. Our other friend Christy was. She was going to cook her parents' breakfast in bed, and they fried bacon. You know, back then they saved all the bacon grease. All of us did, and I didn't know that. OG. Um, so Gina had a Cool Whip bowl and poured the grease in it, and it melted all over her hand. Oh, she had bad burns. She still has scars. I was little, but I was fast. But when I hears the words, "Wait till your dad gets home," I froze in place. Woo! I never owned a pressure cooker, because someone died. Yep. I know. I was afraid of my Instant Pot for a long time. 5 new fugglers since we last saw each other. I'm jealous. You still have saved bacon grease? Look, because of Jim, I have some saved too, but he saves it. I remember they used to advertise on TV these cutters where you cut out glass Coke bottles and make them into drinking cups. Oh, we had the best days. Do you season your beans and stuff with it, Calamity? I have a problem, a Fugler problem. You do. Don't get like me. I'm telling you now, I don't even want these Funko Pops. I think I would keep the Happy Days, uh, Biggie Smalls, and Tupac. Oh, and the Golden Girls. I think that's it, though, really. Bacon grease for collars. I'm still afraid of my Instapot. Husband has to do that. I'm not afraid of it now. I'll just throw anything in there. Girl loves it. The Fugglers, I've sent them to all my kids. I have not bought one yet, though. I showed them to all of them. They're so cute. Thank you so much, Sandy. I love you. It's fun to laugh. We need a good laugh day. Pressure cookers remind me of bomb. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Like they will kill you. Hey, Kevin. Hello, everyone. Good to catch you live. Good. I'm glad you're here. Do you have a good Generation X story? Did you almost die, but not know it and enjoy it? Come up missing, and we wouldn't really be missing, but I can remember being in the neighbor's barn, climbing up where there was holes everywhere. Nobody knew where we were. If we had fell on a pitchfork, nobody would have known. Me and the Instant Pot are like that. Exactly. Exactly. Cooking eggs, nothing better than bacon grease. This live is great. Thank you, Calamity. I'm enjoying it very much. I'll have to think on a Gen X story. I'm sure you got one. We all have them. Let's see. Let's see if we can find something bring back memories. We were like many adults. I used to go to the store next to my mom's work, buy 50 cents worth of candy, and get her lottery tickets. Middle Eastern guy knew me by name. We were like many adults. Amen. Oh, and I had friends that did this. My parents worked overnights cleaning office buildings for extra cash. My sister and I slept in the back of a Chevy Nova for hours, completely unattended. If we woke up, we had to just sit there because we had no clue where mom and dad were. We were 6 and 12. Just leave us at home. Damn. Oh, we hopped on bus to go to the library as a kid. Yes. I've kept it to my single digit years, my teen stories. Oof. My neighbor had a bell rang to summer her brood. Would not let kids go by themselves these days. No, but now it's just like, I mean, then it was just go on. Or like they said, sleep in the car. And I had friends that's parents worked third shift and they would sleep in the car and get ready for school at school. Not every night, but whenever their parents would end up on the same shift sometimes. It's a lot different nowadays. Oh, or how about, we had this one pervert. Thank God we were right. Did you ever ride the pegs on a bike? Do you know what pegs are or were? Yeah. What? Okay. So are you talking about you stand on the pegs? You stand on the pegs while the other one pedaled? And I don't know. I don't think I knew what the pegs were for, but I have stood on pegs. I wrecked my mini bike and missed by inches, breaking my neck. My brother was in front of me, trying to tell me to watch out for holes, but wouldn't stop to let me know. We were not trying. No, we weren't. I remember during Halloween, some idiot put on back in the middle of the street, scaring trick or treaters. They got arrested. We had a guy that dressed up like Jason. He never got arrested. Randy, don't you have a video you tripped and fell as an ironing board came and came up laughing your full head off? I don't have that video, but I did fall and I did come up laughing. I slid all the way down my road on a hill in a bike crash of mine. I was scratched and bruised from head to toe, literally. Look, I was in a bike wreck so bad with my sister, and we both had brand new bicycles. We let other kids ride them, and I was on the handlebars of our friend's bike, and we ended up having like a head-on collision. So the collision happened and it became my sister was on bottom on her hands and knees. And so it was like JoJo, bike, Shelly, bike. It was my friend Shelly. Uh, but I straddled a bar and bounced. Banana seats, baby. And we were bloodied, blistered. We had road rash. And do you think we were looked at? No. We got in trouble for letting someone ride our new bikes and scratching them up. And JoJo bike was completely torn up. Yes, the ones that were the back wheel of the bike that stuck out. My friends were on one bike and me on another. My friends ran into a mailbox. That shit was kind of funny. Would they hit it with the spike? What a tragedy. Pegs were for BMX bikes. Oh, I had no idea. Hey, Bill Jones. Good to see you. Hey, Debbie Dog. Good to see you, friend. I had a parked car racing down the hill on my sister's bike. I stole it. Try explaining that, but I did go like the wind. Hair salon in her backyard shed and talked a neighbor gal into being our first customer. Oh, we've all done that. I remember riding my bike thinking I was Fonz, Evil Knievel. Oh, they hit the mailbox head on. Oh, Carol Clark. We would put our tongue on the monkey bars and we're bleeding fools. Why would they bleed? With the cold weather? Would you have to pull it off? Ooh, I didn't do that. No, but I have fallen on many monkey bars. You remind me of a time I had my sister sitting on my front handlebars and her little purse got caught in the spokes. Oh, how many times has your shoelaces ever got caught in the spokes? Ooh. Over she went, hit the ground first. Yep. Garden raiding. I have done that. Her hair was to her waist and was, oh, she's. We thought it was Grant for a minute. I landed on her. The bike was on top of me. Yes. Oh, that's a bad wreck. That's a bad wreck. You get hurt on those wrecks. But instead of being concerned how hurt we were, it was because we hurt our bikes. And we weren't even on the bikes. Somebody else was. Like riding bikes late at night when mom and dad went to bed all night long. Oh no, Kevin. You must have been a rebel. I was not like that. I was afraid. I would have gotten caught. Same. I still have gravel in my knees from a bike spill. Oh, picking the gravels out was the worst about bike wrecks because it seemed like they could just get. Oh, you could have died. I can hear my dad now. The only thing that we ever got dramatic about was if we was around water. You could have died. You could have drowned. You could have drowned. Why did you jump off that? Well, they dared me. I was thinking of climbing this big hill, the 50th anniversary this year. I said, no way, I might get myself killed. Yeah, don't do it. No, we never had helmets. Think about that, y'all. Ever. We never wore a helmet. I don't even know. I guess they made helmets, but no, even when we went skating, and I'm telling you, I've busted my head at the roller skating rink. We would fish at night, lived in country. We would fish at night. But oh, I loved bridge jumping. Now I'm scared. And I think the reason I'm scared is because I remember what it's like to go so far down. We had rubber band gun wars. Yes, that hurt. I hated those. Why did we have to wait 30 minutes after eating to swim? That's also a lie. And also, Debbie doll, you're late. Did you know that you will not bleed to death if you pick off a mole? You probably shouldn't pick off a mole, but you will not die. I talked my sister into crossing this pond on her horse. She did it, and halfway across, the horse went in underwater. When the horse came up, when she did, she got in big. Oh no! I never made it 30 minutes either. But I mean, I'm saying we probably made it 20 minutes because yes, Warrior Grandma. I just found out like last week. My grandma had feral cats that lived in a rock wall. We were told no, but we tried to catch them. Those cats shredded us, and we tried to deny that we tried to catch them. Yes. I'm not blind either yet. I sat in front of the TV in the dark. Me too. Well, I don't know. I'm pretty close. No helmets or pads. I'd wreck so bad doing stupid stuff that I looked like I'd been in combat and was told to walk it off. Yes. Yes. And we had a train that would go across in front of our house here, the tracks. And you know how you've seen all these people that would put like a penny or something on the tracks and the train would hit it and it would get flat. Never once did I find our penny. I was told I'd go blind by reading too much. I didn't. Hey, little miss. I rode my horse through a stream and he stopped and rolled. Oh no, that's scary. Oh, me too, Debbie doll. Do you remember just finally giving up and sitting down on your legs, just flipping because you got so sick of having to get up and down? Saturday morning cartoons were the best. Train trestle jumping was I never did that. I think it would have gave Nanny a stroke. I never did that. How the hell did we survive with 3 channels? Well, if you think about it, I don't know. Oh, I bet it runs your saddle. We ended up with 4. We had 48, 31, and 19, but sometimes we would get channel 54. My only one. But yeah, we were the remote. There was no remotes. Sunday we watched wrestling. PBS was the fourth when I was a kid. That was Channel 3. And I got a little bit older and we got Channel 3, and that's where I watched Bob Ross. And I really think that's where I got my love for ASMR, because that's what Bob Ross was like, was watching ASMR. Oh, loved him. We had news, kids, and French. Can you speak French for your grandma? I've never asked you that before. Randy, I know those channels. I bet you do, baby. You're so close. We were the antenna as well. Yeah, yes, we were. Move it this way, move it that way. Yes. We only had one TV, and the grown-ups chose what we watched, except on Saturday morning. That is very true. That is so true. And sometimes a little bit after school, you could get away with, because like their shows were off until the game shows came on. And then the nighttime soaps, which, Dallas, Falcon Crest, all that stuff. But life was easier. Ed lived way upstate, Canadian border. He only got French TV. Wow. Cable box only had 3 buttons after being on wait list to get cable. Yes. We like to never got cable. Like, we were one of the last families, I think, at school to get cable. The Our Gang comedies. Oh, man. Yes. Three Stooges, which, I mean, we were watching reruns, but the Three Stooges reruns would come on. This was Saturday mornings. What was that show? Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. Space something? Photo Hut drive-through for film. Yes. 2 red buttons and black button if you got HBO as well. We didn't get HBO. But sometimes after we got cable, Kevin, sometimes somehow, was it Land of the Lost? Is that the name of it? Lost in Space. Lost in Space. Yes. After we got cable, Nanny wouldn't pay for any of the movie channels, but sometimes, not clear, but we would get Cinemax. Yes, Lost in Space. And late at night, me and JoJo would sneak up and watch dirty movies, which we just had dirty words in them back then. My dad's dirty little secret was when he came home for lunch for years because he got hooked on one of those old soap operas. See, I was raised by 2 people they retired. So they had their soaps and there was no shame. They did not care. Mom never told either. Aw. National Anthem at midnight and then yep. Miss those days. Emmanuel movies. Such good days. It's too bad. It's too bad that we didn't know that we were living the best days of our life. Not that we're not still. Miss the drive-in so much. We do have a drive-in, Calamity. But now, because back then, drive-ins, you hung it on your window, and now they have radio stations where you tune it in. But I think that it's going broke again because nobody really goes anymore. Because now you can stream things so quickly at home. Drive-ins and our Jamie's so fun. I think I would. We have a 5-screen drive. Yeah, ours. I think ours has 4 screens. If we got caught watching Elvira, it was porn, and we got Carol Clark. We also were not allowed to watch Elvira. Not many good movies, Debbie Doll, in my opinion, but I think it was Socrates that said, "Youth is wasted on the young." Amen. It has always been true. That is the truth. We just don't know. And we try. This is the thing, you have kids and you try to, back when Saturday Night Live was good, and I kind of was sneaking to stay up, but was staying up to watch it. And the one I remember the most from my childhood was Eddie Murphy. I'm gonna get in the bathtub. I mean, no, the hot tub. Ooh, the water's hot in the hot tub. Ooh, gonna get in the water. Remember that? I don't know. It's hot in the hot tub. Oh, world's ebbed. It's just getting worse. I'm thankful I didn't have kids. Sorry to be a downer. You ain't a downer, because I try to tell my kids now how great um Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. It's Mr. Rogers. Um, how good it was back then. But of course, they think we were neglected and abused. Honestly, cheeseburger, cheeseburger, cheeseburger. Dan Aykroyd on promotional tour. Oh wow! Love when my dad would watch Bowling Night. My mom would let us watch Carol Burnett. I loved Carol Burnett. It is very different these days. And you know, there is a channel on YouTube. Oh, Mr. Robinson's. I apologize. Yes, welcome to Mr. Robinson's neighborhood. Neighborhood. Oh, no Coke, Pepsi, Pepsi challenge. Jane, you ignorant slut. I don't. What? I don't. Okay, I don't. Oh, would have bowling night. My mom would let us. Well, I got you. There is a channel on here that plays nothing but the Carol Burnett show, and I'm subscribed to. I watch it all the time. Go to Woolworths for cheeseburger and fries. Window shopping downtown with my grandmother. Oh, is that good days? Gotta go. I gotta go too. I gotta cook dinner. The Shout channel, is that what it is? Love that channel. That's a great channel. If you're not subscribed, find it. Of course, I think mine and everyone's favorite skit, it was her Gone with the Wind one when she took the curtains and left the curtain rod in. Chevy Chase said it to Jane Curtin when they would do the news. See, I think that was a little before me. Or maybe I just didn't know. Oh, but I do have to cook. Y'all, thank y'all so much for being here. I appreciate it. If you're a member, I appreciate it. Even if you're not a member, just showing up, I appreciate it. This has been a great stream. And maybe tomorrow we can talk about the man, because his mom has spoken out now. There's a lot of details. There were some pictures that I saw on Facebook of their house they lived in, and Jane Curtin. Yeah, remember Kate and Ellie? All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here. You're welcome, Calamity. Anytime, anytime. And I will see y'all the next time. Bye, y'all.